So, children, good morning. Let us start with the next part of our poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender. You have already noticed how shabby the school was in the village or in the slum area. Now let us see what happens next. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from river, capes, and stars of world. So the poet here describes that these children live in a very, very narrow street which is closed from all sides. Sealed means closed. And with a grey sky. Lead sky means the sky is full of smoke. That's why it looks grey. The village is far, far away from the rivers, the capes, and stars of world. So, this school is in a remote village where you cannot see anything except the grey sky. There are no rivers, no capes, no stars. The children never see anything. The fogs of uncertainty dominates their future. So the poet says that the fog of uncertainty dominates their future. They are doomed to live in narrow streets, closed in by the bluish grey sky. Their world is far away from rivers, capes, and stars. So the next paragraph, I'll read the paragraph now. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that shyly turn in their cramped holes. So let me explain to you these few lines. Here the poet wants to say that Shakespeare holds no interest to them. That means these children don't know who is Shakespeare, so they have no interest in Shakespeare. Though we are all interested in Shakespeare because we know about him, so even if we see a small picture of Shakespeare, we are very interested to see it and know about it. But these children, they don't know anything about the great person, so they are not interested. Nor the map of the world does them any good. There is a map hanging on the wall of their classroom. As you know, every classroom in a school has a map which hangs from the wall. And because we are educated, we know about the world, we look at the map and find out places. But these slum children, they don't know what is the world, so they are not even interested in the map. They don't see at it. This map shows a world which is not there because they have never seen the world, so they are not interested in finding out the places on the map, and they don't know that there is a world beyond the narrow streets where they live. This world is full of attraction. There are beautiful away by running away. There are beautiful ship, warmth of the sun and love. So these children, they don't know anything of the outside world. They don't know that there are ships, there are sun, there are love, and these things don't tempt them because they have never seen them. They entice these children. They are tempted to steal them away by running away from their miserable surroundings. So here the poet says that the children simply they want to run away from these things because they don't know anything about these beautiful things. The poet says that the children spend their lives confined in their cramped holes like rodents. Their bodies look like skeleton because they are victims of malnutrition. Their steel frame spectacles with repaired glasses make them appear like the broken pieces of a bottle scattered on stones. Their future seems to be bleak. So, now let us see the next paragraph. What the paragraph says: from fog to endless night on their slag heap, these children were skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So bold their maps with slum as big as doom. So now let us see what the poet wants to tell us in these lines. So these children they live in a narrow street crowded with holes or liars. Their life starts with the fog of uncertainty. Fog of uncertainty means there is no future for these children and ends in the endless night of their death. And finally, these children they live in these cramped rooms. The rooms are like small holes where the rats live on the heap of waste. So these children they are born there and they die there in the small holes on the heap of the waste things. And there are all dirt thrown around, heap of waste. These children wander with their bones peeping out of their skin. That means these children roaming about with their bones peeping from their skin. That means they are so thin that we can count the bones from their body because there is no flesh in their body. So the line explains from fog to endless night. That means from birth to death, they always live in the dark on their slag heap. Slag heap means dirt. These children wear skins peeped through by bones. Peeped through by bones means they have only bones in their body which are peeping through their skins, and spectacles of steel, and they even wear the spectacles which has a steel frame, and they are broken many times, and many times they mend it and again wear it. Sometimes the glass of their spectacles also break like the bottles hit on the stone. When we hit a bottle on the stone, we see it breaks in pieces, and their spectacles has also been broken into pieces because they have no money to purchase another spectacle. So wearing spectacles of steel with mended glasses, they look like pieces of broken bottles on stone. All their time and space is spent in these dirty and foggy slums. So the children of the slum school, they spend their entire life in this slum area. These slums are nothing less than living hell. So the poet says that these slum areas are nothing more than a living hell. Actually, they are a blot on their civilized world the world of the rich and the great. The poet wants to explain that there is a difference between the rich and the poor. The poor are very poor and the rich are very rich. And the poet says that this is a blot, or you can say a dhabba for the civilized world, because the civilized world don't care about these slum children, whether they study, whether they eat, they have enough food to eat, they have enough clothes to wear, they have good education. None of these rich people bother about the children living in the slum area. Now let us see what the poet says in the next paragraph. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. So, break, oh break, open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books. The white and green leaves open history there, whose language is the sun. So now let us see what the poet wants to say in these lines. The map of the civilized world and the slum of these unfortunate children are two entirely different worlds. So here the poet wants to explain that the civilized world and the unfortunate children of the slum areas are the two very, very distinct worlds. One lives in utter luxury and the other lives in utter poverty. Governors, inspectors, visitors, and other important persons must abridge this gap. So the poet says that the rich people or the powerful people, like the governor, the inspectors, the visitors, the rich people, should try to fill up the gap between the rich and the poor. They should take notice of these slum children, and they should try to educate these children and give them a good life. So, here the poet says that these powerful people, like the governors, inspectors, and visitors, should visit these places and see to themselves how poor conditions these small children live. They must peep into the world of the children living in the slum. That means these powerful people should come and see how the slum children lead their life. They must take their own world and world of these slum children too. That means these powerful people should look not only to their own world but to the world of the slum children, where how they are living. The unsuitable environment of the slum has blocked all their gates to progress. The poet says here that the unsuitable environment means there is always darkness, there is smoke everywhere, there are narrow streets, small rooms, not big enough for many people to live together. All these things have blocked the progress of these slum children. They have no dreams, no gates to go out and make their life a successful one. They are lying shut like catacombs. What are catacombs? Catacombs are long underground gallery with excavations in its sides for tombs. The name catacomb before the 17th century was applied to the subterranean cemeteries near Rome. So, catacombs are the small underground graves. These obstacles should be broken. That means the poet wants to say that these children should be brought to light, they should be helped so that they can study, they can make some progress and make their life useful. Everything that binds them should be broken. The poet here wants to say that the children who are binded by the poverty, the illiteracy, should be broken. They must be allowed to breathe in open air. So these children should be brought out in the light and they should be allowed to breathe pure air. They must be allowed to come out of their narrow lanes and the dirty slums of the town. Let them enjoy the beauty of the green fields. Their world should extend to the sky, blue waves rising from the golden sand. Let the pages of wisdom be open to them. That means the poet wants here that the children should come out into the world and they should look into the blue sky, the waves rising from the ocean, the golden sands, and they should be educated. Let the pages of wisdom means knowledge, be open to them. That means they should be brought into the city and taught the lessons. Let their tongues express themselves. That means let them talk good things or whatever they want to talk. So here the poet says, let their tongues run naked into the books. That means they should read the books, they should learn to write, and the white and green leaves open. That means they should express themselves freely without any check or fear. Only those people make or create history whose language has the warmth and strength of the sun. So here the poet says that if we give these slum children a chance, they can become very, very famous personalities. Even in the history we know how people who are poor or who were born in poverty even became the presidents of the big countries. So the poet says that these children, if we give them opportunities, they can become famous people and history will remember them forever. So they will shine in the warmth of the sunlight and be as strong as the sun. So let us give these slum children a chance to come out of their holes and look at the world and study and learn new things so that even they can create history. So, students, have you liked the poem? You must have never thought that these small things can become a big poem. So I hope you have followed the poem. It is quite simple and you have enjoyed the explanation. Thank you.